about students showing off their talents. I think it's great. I think you guys should do more of it. It inspires other people to also show what they're good at.
Talents is one of my favorite things about teaching. When I see what students can do and kind of see them get an interest in something, that makes me happy. When students look for their unique potential. Also seeing alumni come back and have all of these experiences really makes me excited in all of their talents. And as an art teacher, I get to see different talents than other teachers in math and science, and I sometimes get to see students thrive who aren't always thriving in school.
I feel that some students, only the students that are very passionate, show their talents at time. I think more students could be demonstrating passion in the arts, but I don't think they are as motivated as other people who are in school. Whether it be dance, whether it be art, whether it be visual art or performing arts or dramatic art. I think we could have even a drama club here. I don't think many kids are that interested.
The school can probably I know it's mostly on us to start these after school programs, and I think the school should help us start more after school programs that other kids that they can show their creativity and stuff. Because I know a lot of kids who they can do their stuff and work, but they can't really have a high grade on it because they don't know how to get to it, but they can show other creativity and other things if it's something that they're super passionate about.
Should listen more to the students because the students see more than what the teachers see on a regular basis. So
it should change because they should get rid of paper and use technology.
I feel that teachers in other schools need to connect with students more and really should help all students succeed. They could help students succeed by asking them which ways they learn best, because that would really help them.
I think instead of letting us listen to music, they should let us play on our phone, games, because lunchtime is a place to relax, after classes, people don't want to be, listening to music.
What I think should change is the mindset that the teacher's always correct, because that's not true most of the time, and then sometimes some of these teachers really just out of place. And if the student tries to say something, it seems as if they're giving attitude, but they're trying to defend themselves. So I think that's something that should change.
Well, I think our school, Hyde, is doing a wonderful job of trying to support students with their career growth. I think the school system at large has a lot of work to do to support students to go in various fields. Specifically, the education system is modeled after a factory mindset for students to go work in factory jobs that will no longer exist by the time that they are of age to be employed.
I do think that the school system does prepare kids for the future, but it's a two-way street. There's only so much that teachers can teach students.
The school system is preparing kids for the future in some ways, but not in others. I think, for example, the way that kids sometimes sit in classrooms, I think the lessons that we deliver are not necessarily important for the future career that some of our students will choose. However, I do think that teachers have modified their curriculum in ways that it's more aligned and it's more authentic to what kids want to do in the future. So in that way, I think we are serving kids and preparing them for the future. But in some ways, I don't think we are, especially when it comes to the ways our days go, the classroom setup sometimes, the schedule that students follow.
I think that school systems, depending on where you are in America, are preparing students for the basic level of the future, and some school systems are not.
The school system in general is not always the best way to prepare, is not doing the best job to prepare students for the future, in the sense that if the future is going to be mostly using technology Some schools are not even using technology at all. We could do better with encouraging creativity, play, and innovation when it comes to working with technology. Often we're giving tools for technology or a website or something, we say work within that, but I think we could do better with encouraging innovation, creativity, and play.
So do kids need tests to show them who they are? No, I don't think tests show them who they are at all. I don't think that tests should be used like that.
Definitely standardized tests are not a sign of intelligence. And even the best made tests, like a teacher test in a class, that's just a sign of, did you listen in the class and can you analyze what you were talking about? But the SAT, even the Regents, those are not signs of intelligence. There are lots of other ways that students can show their intelligence. One way is by making a documentary showing that's a different kind of intelligence that a standardized test is not going to cover. But there's lots of different styles of intelligence that are not often honored enough in the school system. Because the school system is still, again, I think Hyde is a bit better than other schools, but the school system is still so focused on this very specific kind of timed test, and even still pen and paper style tests, which is definitely not related to jobs in the future and the way we're going to live and work and invent. So I think that we need to do, Hyde and then the whole school system can do an even better job of honoring different types of intelligences and actually creating space where students can develop those and show off when they do really well.
Programs. So I think tests are really important, but I think that we need to find better ways of preparing students for tests because everybody learns a little differently. And I don't think a test in any way is defines the worth or the value of the intelligence of a person. I think it's one way of students being able to show what they know, but an important one. So I think that we spend a lot of time talking about whether or not tests are the problem, but I think it's about how we get students confident and prepared for tests that are really the thing we need to work on the most.
I think standardized tests play a role, just one piece of the larger picture in formulating if a student is capable of doing a task or a role or a job. I think they're one piece, they're not the only thing, but tests like the SAT are one equalizer that some colleges use to determine if a student is academically ready for the rigors of their school.
Know who you are, but to show strengths and weaknesses. I think that tests will share a part of who you are, like with academics and stuff, but you really find out who you are through your character and what you do, like the choices you make and the decisions you make in your life.
Absolutely not. I think tests are one way to measure what students know and are able to do, but are definitely not the most important way. And I think tests too often are not authentic. They're simulations of real life problems or experiences, and I think that we can do a better job of engaging students in figuring out actual problems, and again, not simulations of problems. And so while I wouldn't say that tests are altogether unimportant, they're certainly not the most important measure of what students can do. And I think particularly when working with students who just haven't found success on traditional exams for so many reasons, right? There's a plethora of research around cultural bias in tests, right? The kinds of questions matter, who creates tests matters, and I think that there are so many more meaningful and authentic ways to have students show us what they are capable of doing, including, for instance, working with students through portfolios and processes that evidence the revision of one's work, right? So students' ability to reflect on what's been produced to make it better, right? That's not something that a standardized assessment, for instance, is going to be able to gauge.
What I think the school system should change is just that the way they see things. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have tests at times to study and to understand the basics of understanding English, math, science, and history. We need history in our lives to know how our pasts, how people managed in the past. But there are times when like people want to do their own thing instead of learning that one basic thing on just, oh, we need this to do this, when other people have other plans for their lives. And like, it doesn't make any sense to give a person a test that doesn't need that for their major or for anything or any career that they want. So they should listen to the students more than like listen to their own selves.
Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid."